taking a chance. Telling me to.
Hey.
Okay, we here. We here.
Yes, the technical difficulties.
Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Hey, how you doing?
Welcome. Rance, how are you?
I'm good. How about you?
I'm awesome. So glad we're live now. A little technical difficulties had us in a little back step.
Oh man, we was having some serious issues, but we here now.
We're here. That's it. We're here.
So look, this week we have a very special guest. All right. Her name is Andria. She's like a sister to me. I've been knowing Dre for years. So she's been knowing me since I started in my career, and I've been knowing her since she got her start as well.
That's good history.
So we've been knowing each other for a while. We actually used to work together also. We worked together a couple times. We worked together in the same salon, barbershop. We also worked together as the DE family.
Come on, man.
And Yodi, you familiar with, oh man, we lost her. She gonna come back.
That's really good.
We worked together also with the DE family.
Yes.
But we're gonna bring her in today as a special guest. Hopefully we'll be able to get her back on. But today
I'm back.
You back?
I'm back, baby.
Listen, I was rolling up.
It's like you never left.
Hey Dre, I was rolling out the red carpet for you, okay?
Yes. With the flashing lights, Dre.
Oh, Lord. Okay.
Paparazzi out there.
Oh, wow. I'm not popular like that. No, just
Maybe you're an influencer then. Oh.
maybe.
So look, we have an amazing topic today. What is it, Yodi? It's influence versus popularity.
Which is better and why? Is it better to be an influencer or is it better to be popular and why?
Yeah. So look, this is where I want to start.
Okay, let's do it.
I'm gonna dive on in, but I'm gonna start with the definition of popularity.
Okay.
Let's start that first. So popularity, all right? The state or condition of being liked, admired, or supported by many people. It's popularity.
That's
Okay.
it.
We're going to go over to influence. The capacity to have an effect on the character, development, and behavior of someone or something.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
Okay. So we're gonna start there. All right. Now
That's good.
that's good.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I don't know. In my opinion, popularity versus influencer. I just start with myself. For me, I think that I would rather have more of influence than being popular.
Yes.
But in popularity, I think that you can use it for benefit of being an influencer.
I agree. Yeah.
Huh?
I agree with you on that.
Okay.
Totally.
Yep.
All right. So where do you feel like you stand, Yodi?
For me, I feel very, very much complimenting that. I feel like if you're popular, that's a great plug because you got many people listening to you that tap into your. So that's good for that aspect. But if you're popular and you don't have really a lot of influence on people where you're making a difference, then I feel like that's kind of like on the con side. So for me, I'd rather be on an influential type. Spit it out. No echo. I'd rather be following the influential side because I feel like that's more effective with dealing with the human race, and we're actually we can pass on information and make some type of effect with many people's lives in different subjects. So I would prefer to be an influencer. Or I feel like that has more. I feel like that has more of a drive and a pull for people where they're able to receive some things and maybe benefit from what you may be bringing to the table.
Yeah. Okay. Dre?
I agree with you both. I'm more of an influential type of person as well. Like popularity, like you say, you can use it when necessary. But there's, moments in your life or in your career where you don't really want to be bothered with the crowd, and you can do more with a smaller group, or have a greater influence or whatever. Sometimes you can see your influencing other people without you even saying anything, but you might touch just that one person and they take off with it or whatever. So for me, I've always, kind of like to be an impactful person, because that gives me more fulfillment, especially like with today's society, with needing gratification, for everything that you do. So like I said, like you both said, popularity and influence, you can use it, when it's necessary. But with me, I'd rather deal with influential situations, because you can get in a situation where, you might be popular for that season, you know,
That's it.
and then like people are continue to expect this particular stage that you present, but that might have been for that season or whatever. And this doesn't say that you're not a popular person, but it just depends on, what you're doing in that season with what you have. That's just how I feel about it or whatever. I like to, like you say, be more influential because I like to see, real growth and development in whatever it is that I'm doing and what I'm putting out. So that's my take on that.
Well, I think
That's
Yeah.
I like that because I think do you feel like a lot of people put a lot of stress on popularity and how it can be kind of a pull on people where they're so focused on popularity where they miss all the important things of the people that they may touch along the way. So complimenting what you said, that there's some valid points of having influence on if it's just two people. If you're able to have an influence on those two people, that's more to me more popular, more effective than if I had 1,000 or more. So I feel like that's very true. And to your point, it could be a season that you're popular. But if you're influenced, that's coming from the core of who you are because you're speaking from your character.
I agree. I agree. Because, what we do, we have like behind the chair, you guys have been in the business longer than me. But in the, I'm just teasing. But in the years, like, like I'm sorry, how Rand said he met me, I actually saw Rand wearing a suit.
Come on now,
Okay.
sir.
And I thought, yeah, and this was during the time of Proud Lady. So I'm dating myself, the Proud Lady show or whatever. And, back then people really, the beauty culture, especially in our industry, they dress nice, they presented themselves, as professionals. We're getting back to that. And
Yes.
it was just a presence that, people set. And I was like, man, what this guy on, But to say that he's been the person that I saw, he's always been innovative, even at that time, he's been innovative or whatever, and popular and influential. So when you say they both, go hand in hand, and even like you, Yodi, meeting you with DE, those small conversations here and there, you drop little nuggets along the way, but you always continue to be who you are, like you said, from the core. So I
That's it.
think that matters because when you're on scene, you this person, but when you're off scene, if you're not that same person, then it's like, what you doing it for?
Right. What you doing?
so with popularity, can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Okay, you can hear me. Okay, listen. I would say also I wanted to add something like with popularity. I've noticed that popularity can also become a really bad addiction, right? So let's just use social media for an example. So we're all at an age now where we were pre-social media, right? Would you say? And so when social media came into play, even in our industry, let's be honest, even in our industry, I'm not talking about none of my good peers that's on this panel right now and on this show, but even in other genres, you can tell that a certain level of popularity that people may have gained from social media, it kind of left a negative stain on them in a sense, and it could take you places where where people can start craving a certain level of popularity. They want to try to keep up with the Joneses, so to speak.
Or
And
what's trending?
or what's trending. So I think having the right state of mind to understand, like, okay, God gave me this platform for a reason. To be able to use it, in the right way That's why I feel like the influence piece comes hand in hand. It helps keep you grounded.
Oh, I had to turn my mic on. I agree with that. Yeah, because it took a minute for me to really adjust to it, because it's like when you with social media, human, you look at the numbers, you look at the, different things. Like you're human, and sometimes you're like, oh man, my numbers ain't adding up, but I'm doing this and I'm doing that, and I'm trying to, keep up with all of this and that and the other. But you kind of confine yourself trying to get in that rat race of that. But my books have never failed me. My books don't, they might not reflect the number of likes and the number of followers or different things like that, or even, you know, they don't see the young ladies who I encourage to go ahead and finish school to, your degree, or, go ahead and push forward to get your cosmetology license, and, different things like that. And
Right.
so it took me some adjustments to just realize keep doing what I was given and gifted to do, and just and that right there gives me the fulfillment. So I'm
Yeah.
cool now with it, because I had a moment where I felt like, Dad, I'm still stuck at this same little 3,000 followers. I'm like, okay, but do I really want to answer that many people? I don't want to
Right.
talk to that many people. And
Yeah, I
then what
believe.
are they gonna think when I don't respond?
Yeah.
So
It's definitely the quality over the quantity. I was looking at one of our notes from one of our listeners. They said, we are all influencers, whether we realize it or not. And to your point, this is so true. Whether we realize it or not, because people watch us in what we do, especially in the business that we're in. People really come to us and they gravitate to us because of us on being on the creative side and coming to us for these services. And even more so than that, they tap into our personalities and how we interact with people. And I feel like that, I mean, depression can be on us, but when we know that we appreciate who we are and what we do and why we were chosen for this industry that we're in, I think it makes it more of a fulfillment, to your point, Andrea, as well as yours, Rance. It's a fulfillment because you're doing something that's coming from here. It's a passion, and it's you take you kind of, when this subject came to our table, it's like popularity versus an influence. Like, wow, that's kind of a big deal. But then if it's something that you're true to, it's something that you do every day. And I feel like, unfortunately, like our young audience that's into the whole social media, they got that pressure on. They got to get these 1 million followers, and that's stressful, and that can be taken away from what impact you can have on those followers that you do have. So the focus should be on why you have those audiences. What are you doing with those audiences?
To add to what Dre was saying, can you guys hear me?
Yes.
yes.
Okay. All right. So to add to what Dre was saying, I went through a season, Dre, where when my social media following really started to grow and catapult somewhat here in the city locally. I just say local popularity. You know what I'm saying? when it started to grow locally, it was difficult, going different places and just having a lot of recognition in terms of like people just walking up to you and feeling like they know you. And so just from some of the small things that you may have placed out on social media, from that level of popularity. And it was cool in the beginning. It was okay. It was really cool. It was a season of where it felt good. It was kind of like some type of a rush that you would get. But then, you know what? To be honest with you, it took a turn, and it took a hard turn, to a point where it was just kind of like I stopped posting because I wanted to have some time where I was able to enjoy my privacy. And then I started feeling like, people felt like they knew me when they really didn't know me. And so it started kind of somewhat, it's kind of turned a little bit depressing in a sense, because you start feeling like, you don't have any privacy in a sense. So it caused me to kind of withdraw a little bit, but I had to really just learn how to have that balance with it.
That's good. That's good. Because I was just even thinking with, like, you know, the platform, or even being an influencer sometimes, people people always want you to be at your best. And we all human, and like you said, when they see you, they think they know you or whatever, and they might not know. You might have just left the bank fighting a dispute or whatever the case may be, you know, and you just give them a hey, you know, keep it moving or whatever type of thing or whatever. And it's just, you know, one of those type of things, finding that balance. And I'm glad you said that, because we definitely do have to have that balance and, you know, turn it off sometime, because anything you unplug is guaranteed to work again, you know. And so even with being an influencer, you can have bad influencers. You know, when people following trends and stuff like that, they popular and then they influencing people to do the wrong thing. So when you know you're not at your best and turning it off, hey, that's great, you know. And I understand that part too, because even with being busy, people expect you to always be busy and speak at their event or show up for this event. But you have family, you know, and you have yourself that you need to take care of. So I can't come all the time. So, you know, thank you, but I'm gonna have to turn this one down or that one down or whatever, you know. No, no, and don't hold it to me. It's just not right now.
Yeah.
So,
My take on it.
okay.
Yeah, I agree with that, Dre. I agree
I
with that.
agree.
It's been a lot of events that I had to pull back from where, you know, I had to apologize. Hey, listen, I'm sorry. Y'all can't make this one this weekend.
Hey, I'm learning. Balance. We're not robots, we're humans.
It's pressure.
Yodi, we got you. I think we
Hello?
do.
You hear me?
Yodi. Yep, we can hear you.
Okay. Okay. I tell you what, we navigating through this thing. It's good. So that's good. So I agree with that. There's a lot of pressure. There's some good, and so there's some good, and there's some bad towards. Should we say there's some positive and negatives towards being popular in the whole world that we're in, society that we live in, and as far as the influence side, I think there could be a lot of positive on that respect. And to your points that, you know, a lot of times when you are an influence, people looking to what's next, help me guide my, and sometimes people become, can you feel like someone can become obsessed because you're an influencer and they're always looking for you for the answers or to lead them somewhere down their journey. And then it gives us a responsibility as an influencer. We have to say, hey, let's, to the point I think I heard it said, the balance of let's talk about this thing now. You have to like tap into who you are and helping someone to appreciate themselves and the importance of being a person that had an influence on everybody. Because like one of our listeners stated, that we all, whether we know it or not, are influencers because people pay attention to how we move and how we speak and what we do. And the good thing, the big point for me is we want to make sure that we're doing something that's going to be a positive. It's always in goodness, and sometimes that can be challenging, but it pushes us to push because of who we are.
I have a question. So have you either of you guys ever felt like, you know, I really don't have nothing to give right now, you know? So in that time or in that moment, like you don't feel like being popular, you don't have no influence or anything like that in those moments. Okay, Brance, I don't know, you said you pushed back and you know, found some balance or whatever, but do you guys have those people in your life that are great influencers or, you know, to you all, and you like, you know what, I'm gonna sit back for a minute, I'm just gonna take some things in so my cup can fill back up, you know? What do you guys do to escape that? Me, like,
Hello?
did y'all hear me?
Can you hear me? Yeah. So
Yeah.
for
What you
me,
thinking about it?
yeah, no, I think so. For Rance, you want to go ahead and take it first? Or let me jump in. Okay, so for me, I appreciate you bringing that point up because those are very stressful, I think, expectations of us, popularity and being influenced. And so we have to find the time to say, hey, I personally I'm grateful for my tribe and my family, and they help keep me balanced. And because they know me well, they always tap in at the right time. Hey, what you doing? Or the phone call or the text, what you doing? They tap in because it's an energy that's being given off. They're like, I'm not vibing your energy. So what's going on? And so when that's being positioned to me, that's my key for me to like step back and go into my solitude mode of like from man, some of our other previous podcasts of talking about when to be aware of our self-care. Because it's important that we tap in and like step back, because those type of pauses are good for refilling the cup, because we have to take advantage of those times of being silent. So that's that time for me personally when I'm able to get my cup refilled back up. And because I'm a big believer that I'm a giver, but if I keep giving and my cup is empty, what I'm giving is not of quality. So push back, pause, and regroup. And it's crazy because come back like better than like nothing ever happened. It's like 2.0, 5.0, you know? So
That
that's
recharge.
a recharge.
Yes.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Rance, I see you moving back and forth.
Hey, listen, I'm just waiting on my cue. That's all. So I guess you know what, for myself, Dre, to answer your question, I'm big on family. So I think one of the ways in which I just kind of retreat and pull back is I just kind of spend time with my family when it comes to times like that. When I feel, I just need that extra charge. You know what? And to be honest with you, my kids, they understand some of that stuff better than me. You know what I'm saying? A whole lot better than me. So, they'll tell me, Daddy, you should take that down, or you should you should say it like this, or you should do a video on this, or whatever the case might be. So sometimes, they might give me some tips or some pointers on certain things. But as far as just the stresses of it and being able to recharge, I like spending time with my family when it comes to things like that, and just pulling back, hanging out with them. And Dre, you already know, me. I get up and I do anything by myself. So just to get a little peace and to get a little rest. Shoot, Yodi, I go to Roof Chris by myself. I go to the movies by myself. Whatever, you know what I'm saying. Just to get some downtime and just collect my thoughts and get a fresh recharge. Go to the gym, whatever the case might be. So for me, that's how it works for me in my life. Yeah. Yeah. She's kind of bouncing in between us. So that's why it's kind of like some pauses in between there. She has to do that to keep the echo out, just so our audience understands what's going on.
I know audience are like, what's happening? Her mouth moving.
Right.
But yes, that's good. This is good stuff, guys. I appreciate it. This is like really like impactful, and I hope that this can be an influential episode for our listeners. Like, hey, don't let the pressure be on you because people pushing you to be popular because of you have a certain thing that you do that people look over and like, ooh, and a lot of times people idolize people in this whole popularity scene. They idolize them and they lose themselves. And I think the core things that we said, the families and our connections and knowing when our triggers are to like sit back and be still, that helps with all of the above. Whether you're a popular, influential type person, it helps with that balance. And everything I think in life is all about that balance. It's about the balance and the communication key and being aware of what we are communicating. And I think that taps into what this whole podcast has been about is knowing who we are and honoring who we are, and appreciate it. And also being able to allow ourselves to be stretched so we can continue to grow.
So let me ask this question really fast. That's that influence, that being an influence and having a level of popularity, how does that impact, let's just say, your close loved ones, whether it just be your family members or, in your case, Dre, your husband? Does it kind of cause them to want to withdraw or pull back somewhat, or are they the type to want to go on the scene with you? What type of impact or how does it cause them to respond and react?
Well, Rance, that's a good question because I'm still newlywed, I guess, 5 years, but my husband, he's kind of like my balance when it comes to that because he does not like being on the scene. He'll support, certain things or whatever. But he has taught me, well, he has helped me to create that balance of like just being still sometime or whatever and supporting what's important and not always having to be on the scene or whatever. And so my family period, because Rance, you know my family or whatever, everybody busy doing something or whatever, but when we get together, it's almost like one of my greatest meetings I ever have. We laughing, we joking, we bouncing and sharing ideas or whatever. But that balance piece, that my husband has definitely helped me with that, and being okay and not feeling like I'm missing something or I'm being lazy or whatever. Because sometimes, shoot, just between he and I, we might have some great conversations or, doing some things or whatever, taking a drive somewhere and just, refreshing ourselves or whatever. But that has definitely helped me in that aspect or whatever. But with my family and stuff like that, families keep you humble too. They keep you humble, they keep you humble. And, even my parents and, different ones, they keep me humble. My dad, he's never been a flashy guy. He like important things, good things. He support those type of stuff. But, just to have your name somewhere being called or doing this and that, labels and different things like that, nah. Neither one of them, my dad or my husband, they not those type of people. So it keeps me with a good balance or whatever, and knowing that I'm still valued. Like my family values me no matter what. They see me at my highest and my lowest, and they still love me no matter what. So that's good for me. Yeah, so that's the role that they play with that part.
That's good stuff. That's necessary. It's very necessary. You know, it's necessary. So, guys, they're friends.
Huh? Oh, okay, so listen, this has been a great show. Listen, guys, we got a lot to think about, and we shared a lot of different things between being a great influencer and being popular. Some of the takeaways that I can say is just make sure that, in your popularity, make sure that you understand that it's a purpose for you being popular and from that aspect. Be kind to people, be nice, even in your popularity. That don't, just because you're popular, don't be mean.
That's right.
Use your influence. Make sure your influence has a lasting impact on people. And like the sister pointed out, she said we're influencers, whether we know it or not, and that's a true fact.
Yes.
You're gonna influence somebody, whether it's negatively or positively.
Exactly.
So, I would love to. I'm glad and I'm happy to say that you both have influenced me in a positive way. So thank you for your positive influence. That you've had on my life. So I appreciate that from you guys. All right.
You already know how I feel about this. I feel like birds of a feather flock together. And I think, honey, what you have given is definitely what you saying you've received. Definitely know you've delivered that. Like in so many areas I don't think you have any idea. So definitely, I happen to just a little flashback. You know how your phone bring up memories. It took me all the way back to 2016, and Andrea and me, it's crazy that we're here together. I had no idea to the lateral that you were gonna be present, but guess what? You were present in the picture, ran you in the, and it made me reflect on, man, this is influential where you are connected with people of likeness. So that's powerful. That's powerful. So I'm grateful for the company of you both.
Yeah.
Likewise, you guys have definitely been influential in my life. Yep, Rance, you already know we talk on the daily sometime. But Yodi, you too. Thank you so much because Bonner Brother, being able to do Bonner Brother on that platform, with both of you are. I saw Rance doing it, and I said I'm gonna do that. And then Yodi, you like the big sister that's like, look, we good. Even when you came to St. Louis, we just gonna have fun and rock this thing out. So to have that type of energy, always you've definitely been influenced, and you welcome me into the DE family with just like, look, welcome. So I appreciate
Yes,
that.
indeed.
Yes.
Indeed. Yes. So that influential energy brought us all together.
Yes.
Yeah.
So listen, guys, I appreciate you. And this has been an amazing show. Hey, Share this episode. Share this show. I'm hope you guys had some great takeaways from it. And until we see each other again, peace and love.
Thank you.